Welcome to Keep Traveling, Your African Story, the only podcast that shares the real voices and journeys shaping African tourism. I'm your host, Rael Zieve, and through my inbound tour operation, Keep Traveling, I've had the privilege of connecting travelers from all around the world with the magic of Africa. This podcast is my way of opening that world up to you, a place to learn about the people, properties, and opportunities that make travel across this continent so very special. Today, I'm delighted to introduce Martin Ndamwe, who's the marketing manager at Masai Mara Safari Lodge, who joins me to share his African story. Martin, welcome to the show.
Asante sana. That's how we say it in Swahili. I'm happy to be part of the show and to be able to answer a few questions about what our facility is all about.
Fantastic. Santi sana, is that right, eh?
Yes.
Martin, tell me first of all, for our international listeners, how is going to be the best way to reach Masai Mara as far as international flights and then getting to the lodge itself?
For our international travelers, if you are a solo traveler or you're planning the travel by yourself, you book a flight to Nairobi. Then from Nairobi, we can coordinate and have you book a flight from Nairobi to Masai Mara. And in Masai Mara, we organize all your transfers. But also we can plan your transfers in Nairobi if you want a one-stop shop for everything. There's an option for driving. It's a 5-hour drive from Nairobi to the lodge. You need a Land Cruiser or a hiker, 4x4 car to get there because the road is, I like to call it untamed. We have kept the conservation energy by not putting tarmac on the roads, just to be able to keep it as authentic as possible.
Okay, so it could be a nice adventure drive from Nairobi or a short charter flight, right?
Yes, it's a very scenic drive from Nairobi. You go through the hills, the Ngong Hills, down the Rift Valley, all the way through a town called Narok, which is the biggest town nearest to the lodge.
Now, I arrive at the lodge, Martin. What am I going to find there as far as my room setup and the amenities at the lodge itself?
Fantastic. On arrival, our team, led by our camp host, will receive you. Of course, they usually get a welcome drink, a warm towel, depending on the weather, or a cold towel because of the dust along the road and the heat. Masai Mara can get hot sometimes or very cold sometimes, like right now is the rainy season. Then you will be received by a camp host and you will be assigned a butler who will be in charge of you during the stay. They will take you to your rooms and they will run you through the induction of the camp, the emergency protocols. They'll run you through how the facility works. They'll run you through how to access our guest area and our safety protocols, which is you must be accompanied at night because we are not fenced. So at night you must be accompanied by one of our Masai guards. They understand the animals better and the animal patterns, so they should be able to walk you around at night. So once you check in, you will be assigned the menu, where you'll pick the menu for the day. Our meals are fully a la carte. You get an option of 3 different meals to pick from, and we don't repeat our meals. So if you're staying for up to 5 days, you are sure to experience a different meal every day, something unique. Once you have your menu signed, you'll be given now an option to pick on whether you want to go for a game drive in the afternoon or a game drive in the evening, or you want to rest first. So once you decide on that, if you pick an afternoon game drive, then we give you some time to rest and freshen up. Then our guides will be ready to pick you again from the guest area and take you for the drive.
Let's just go back to the lodge itself. How many beds do you cater for at the lodge? Because some people are happy to be at a lodge where there's tens or maybe even 100 people, but others like small boutique kind of stuff. So tell me about how many guests can you cater for in total?
We are a very small boutique intimate lodge. We have 8 rooms and a family cottage, which has 2 bedrooms. Our maximum capacity is 24 people if we're doing doubles. If it's sharing, then we can do up to 24 people. From the 8 rooms, yes, we can accommodate doubles and triples depending on guest options. If you're traveling as a group or a family and want to share a tent, our rooms are actually big enough. I think we have so far the biggest rooms around in the Conservancy. So they accommodate up to 3 beds comfortably, yes.
And you spoke briefly about the food, and I want to touch on the food a little bit more because people always think with their stomachs, or should I say, a lot of people think with their stomach, and they're very worried that they're going to go hungry So tell us a little bit more about the food and the drink offerings.
We have packages depending on what you book, and we offer an all-inclusive package or a game package. So in the all-inclusive package, you get to have all the meals, that is breakfast, there's a 10 o'clock tea. You get to experience a bush meal, either breakfast or a bush dinner. You get to experience a picnic lunch, a picnic breakfast, depending if you're out of the lodge on the game drives. But yes, you get to experience an option of both out of the lodge direct into the wild meals or at our restaurant in the lodge. So our chef works on guest preference, where you want to be served, the views you want to experience as you're eating, and the type of food that you want. So the menu is open and the chef is very versatile on what they can create for you.
That sounds fantastic. And then obviously
Yes.
the drinks are included as well, so people can
Yes.
drink
If
until
you're on
they...
the all-inclusive package, it's inclusive of drinks. But we do have a bar that you can actually just directly purchase from.
So now we've sorted with the accommodation, we've sorted with the food. Now we're going to go on our game drives. Are game drives the only kind of safari experience that you offer, or can I walk as well?
We have walking safaris and game drives and nature walks. So the nature walk is done at the camp. Our facility is happy to host a couple of resident animals, the small antelopes, the dik-dik. We have the resident hippos because we are right by the river, crocodiles, and thousands of birds. If you're a fan of bird watching, you can spend the whole experience directly at the lodge. The nature walk is good for children. It's usually a good activity just to engage children, where they walk with one of the guides who understands children and is able to guide them and show them and teach them about conservation, about the animals that they can see around. Walking safari, again, you go with our guides and 2 armed rangers, because that one now we are going straight into the wild, out of the compound and into the park. The guides will take you through where you can spot animals, walk you through, and while you are doing the walk, we also prepare a surprise bush meal for you. The walk will end at a scenic location where you'll find our team has already prepared something for you, where you can enjoy a bush meal after the safari. Then if you want, you can walk back to the lodge, or one of our vehicles can pick you from there and back to the lodge.
Okay, that sounds really exciting. Now tell me about the actual wildlife that I can expect to see while in the park itself. Are we talking about the entire Big Five? Explain that a little bit more to me.
The park, especially the Conservancy where our lodge is located, is happy to have an abundance of wildlife. It's very controlled, so we have a lot of wildlife. We have about 3 lion prides that are resident in the Conservancy, so there's a very high chance you'll run into lions. We have leopards, we have resident cheetahs. Then we border a Conservancy that has a rhino sanctuary. You can get an opportunity to actually see the rhinos. The elephants are in plenty. So if you want to see the Big Five, there's a very high chance that you might experience all the Big Five at once. The buffaloes are in plenty. Those ones are literally residents at the Conservancy.
My guests, like yourself, always mention the Big Five, but let's talk a little bit about the Little Five and the Ugly Five. Are you familiar with that, Martin?
I'm familiar with the Ugly Five, which are very common there. We have the vultures, which form part of the Ugly Five. We have the warthog, the wildebeest, the hyenas. Those ones in Mara North Conservancy are quite a lot. The advantage we have in Mara North is due to the controlled environment. There's a lot of grass. So we have a lot of the herbivores, and indirectly that means we have also a lot of the predators. The chances of you experiencing almost 90% of the game is quite high.
And obviously certain things are seasonal. So for our international listeners, what would be your recommendation of what time of the year would be your preference to come to the lodge in order to experience the best of Africa, the best of the wildlife, the best of the temperatures?
I think the best time, we call it the low season, because most of our travelers are very fixated on the migration, which starts from June in about 2 weeks. But I think the opportunity lies a lot in the low seasons, because again, our prices are slightly adjusted and the parks are not crowded. You get to experience your game drive so peacefully. You get to have enough time to take photos with the wildlife. There's abundance of wildlife. The green season, we call it the green season because it's usually around the rainy season. There's a lot of grass, and it's also when a lot of animals are calving. I find the low season much better than the high season. The high season, you experience a lot of crowding, a lot. If you spot an animal, and fortunately in the main Mara, out of the Conservancy, if you spot a lion, there'll probably be like 20, 30 cars around there also trying to take a picture of the same. But during the low season, you get to experience more of a personal connection, just you and the pride of lions, or you surrounded by elephants, or you in the middle of buffaloes, and just probably the only car in the Conservancy at the moment during the low season. I tend to think the low season is actually the best time to travel. Also, if we look at the migration patterns, the high season, you might come to see a crossing and there's a very high chance you banked to see the crossing and you will not see it. Because sometimes the animals don't cross, the hours you spend waiting, and they decide today we are not coming to Kenya. They cross over from Tanzania to Kenya. It can be disappointing if you bank on it, but on the low season you experience a lot.
I think maybe their visas aren't in order and they can't cross.
The paperwork is not in order. Yes. So sometimes they cross, sometimes. Then we had a few problems also on some people who had built on the conservation area. I think it was big on news. So I think it affected a lot of the migration patterns. But if you're a wildlife enthusiast, I think the low season is the best. If you're a photographer, the low season is the best. If you just want to have a quiet drive, I will go for the low season. And the pricing for the low season is also adjusted. It's much more affordable. The flights are slightly cheaper. The accommodation will be slightly cheaper. So I think most people should rethink on the time for travel.
Sure. Like you say, a little bit of the crowding. And I felt that also in a park in South Africa, Kruger National Park. I was there about 6 months ago and there was a leopard kill. And it seemed like the main road in Johannesburg, actually. How is the Kenyan Wildlife Authority dealing with that overcrowding, Martin? Are they coming up with some kind of plan as to try and sort that out in a way, do you think?
The advantage, I would say, for private conservancies is it's easier to regulate. So where Rael Mara is located, which is Mara North Conservancy, there are rules. We don't allow tour vans from outside to come in, and every lodge inside Rael Mara needs to provide their own vans for transport for the game drives and everything, which has helped limit the number of cars inside the park. The rule is if you identify an animal, there can only be up to 5 cars at a time where you want to see the animal. And the 5 cars are also limited. You can only be there for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then you leave, so that somebody else can also come and see what you've seen. The control has really helped in the overcrowding. We have a limited number of cars in 70,000 acres. I think we have maybe about 40, 50 cars in the whole conservancy doing game drives. At any given time, you'll probably just be maybe about 10 cars driving through the whole 70,000 acres, which is amazing. It's quite peaceful and it's less crowded, I would say. So you'll probably be alone or you'll be 2 people. But for the main park, I'm not very sure how the government is intending to control. The crowds are too many, way too many.
It's become commercialized with the hot ballooning and all that kind of stuff. So in your opinion, it would be better for people to seek private conservancies like yourselves?
The private conservancies for me are a big win. The advantage is the animals also don't like the noise. So most of the animals will tend to move from the main park towards the private conservancies because there's less crowding and there's less human interaction. I also like to say they like their privacy too.
Martin, with so many different lodges, not just in Kenya and Tanzania, but all in Africa, why should people come to Royal Mara Safari Lodge?
Rael Mara is very unique. We are a riverfront lodge and we are located at a lagoon. We are literally covered by water on both sides, and you can experience game in Rael Mara from the way our rooms are set up. You can experience wildlife right from your bed. Your bed faces the river, the deck faces the river, you have a bathtub facing the river. You get to witness the crocodiles and the hippos. Across the river from the room, there's a salt lick. A lot of antelopes and zebras come to drink water and lick the soil from there. So you can get a chance to even experience a crocodile hunt while just in your room. We were voted by TripAdvisor as the best location. Just serene, intimate, nicely spaced out, quiet, surrounded by nature. We have tried our best to not affect the carbon footprint of the area. Our tents are nicely built. Our system runs fully eco on solar. Our water is pumped by solar. Our electricity is supplied by solar. Our food is grown organically in the garden inside the lodge. So it's a good experience just to have a nice, unique, private, intimate moment. If you're traveling with family or by yourself, you just want to reset. It's quite unique.
That sounds fantastic. And I know, Martin, as part of the podcast that you've been kind enough to do a prize giveaway. Can you tell us in your own words what it is that you're going to be giving away to the lucky listener?
I would want the lucky listener to come experience what I have shared on the podcast, and I would want them to experience 2 nights accommodation in the Mara, at Royal Mara, just to come and see if Martin was telling the truth and be able to come back and tell us their experience. But they'll probably come and say Martin was not saying enough. There's a lot that they will experience that they will just want to stay there. We will give 2 nights free to one of the lucky listeners.
Thank you very much. That's very generous of you. And I'm sure that once we have a lucky winner that comes to experience Royal Mara, we're going to get them on the show. And then they're going to tell us if Martin was telling the truth about the fantastic food, and they had a fantastic time. In closing off, Martin, let's just touch on where people can find you online and follow your story.
So Royal Mara Safari Lodge is on Instagram and Facebook. I think we're on all socials. You can follow us on Threads. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. You can reach us out through our website. And on our website, you get all our contacts, even on our social media. So we are available online and we respond quickly. We are a 24-hour service. So if you reach out to us, we will reach back to you. Yes.
Martin, thank you so much for your time and energy and coming to tell us about Royal Mara. And we look forward to awarding that fantastic prize and then hearing back from that lucky winner. Thanks again for your time today.
Asante sana. I hope to meet the lucky listeners and have them experience Royal Mara.
Thanks again, Martin. Thank you so much. What an inspiring conversation. Thank you so much, Martin, for sharing your story and for everything you're doing to grow African tourism. Don't forget, every week we feature fantastic prize giveaways from some of Africa's most beautiful lodges, camps, and travel partners. You could win your own unforgettable getaway just by listening, subscribing, or visiting www.keeptraveling.africa/podcast, or read more about today's guest by scanning through the show notes of today's episode. Don't forget to follow Keep Traveling on social media for the latest episodes, stories, and travel inspiration. I'm Rael Zieve, and this has been Keep Traveling, your African story. Remember, a few years from now, you won't remember how much it cost you, but you'll always remember the memories you made. Keep traveling.